Welcome, everybody, to the Artificially Smart Marketing Podcast, where we explore the exciting world of artificial intelligence and its impact on marketing. Every week, we feature in depth conversations with industry leaders, technology experts, and marketing professionals. Our guests share their insights and experiences on how AI is transforming marketing and providing businesses with a competitive edge, keeping you up to date on the latest trends and best practices in AI powered marketing. Now, whether you're new to the world of AI or an experienced professional, the Artificially Smart Marketing Podcast is the perfect place to learn about the latest advancements and how they can be applied to your business. Join us each week and let's explore the intersection of AI and marketing together. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Artificially Smart Marketing Podcast. My name is Matthew Maniak, your co-host, here with Tony Aponte, your other co-host. How's it going, Tony?
Doing good, Matthew. Hope everyone's doing great today.
Awesome. We've got another exciting episode for you guys planned today. So we're gonna dive right in. So make sure that you're sitting down, buckle up, because it's going to be a very fun one where we talk deeper on the capabilities, the functions, and some of the benefits that you guys can get when you choose to use AI powered chatbots. Are you ready, Tony?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Awesome. All right. So there's obviously there's a lot that we've been talking about when it comes to these AI powered chatbots, as far as their capabilities, as far as the benefits. But looking more from an operational standpoint, I mean, at its core level, right? These chatbots, even as they are now, one of the core things that they're built to do is to set appointments and transfer leads that come in through the website into just like I said, those appointments being set on the calendar. Um, so for you, Tony, tell me a little bit about what you're seeing as far as what makes these AI powered chatbots different when it comes to getting those appointments set.
Yeah. So right now, because the AI powered chatbots are still fairly new, right? So it's as we go on and on, the capabilities of what they can do. It's just there's no telling what more they can do, right? But right now, one of the very most common ways right now that are being used is to help with website visitors, kind of walking them through the knowledge base on the website, kind of answering, back and forth questions, and then getting them to schedule with the service provider, right? Whether it's through sending them to, the contact page to go ahead and fill out the form, or if, with the chatbot, once you program it and you train it, you can integrate it with Calendly, whatever booking software you have. And there, and this is the part that's still kind of evolving, right? There's not all tools are able to integrate with AI. However, if there's a tool out there, the Zapier, that literally I'm sure can be integrated with most tools, and it does integrate with AI. So if you can get to where your AI chatbot on your website integrates with Zap, because Zap is going to be able to connect you, Zapier, to connect you with whatever tool you have, it'll automatically be able to kind of keep that flow going, just through the setting up different Zaps, right? And so that's really where it's going to help with keeping the website visitor on the website, and then kind of like leading them to where it's going to ask them, hey, do you want to go ahead and schedule? Do you want to set up an appointment? And then if the customer says, yes, let's go ahead, it'll send them the link, and they can go to either however it is that you want it set up, right? If you want to set it up through a contact page, or send them to your contact page with a form on there, or send them to a booking page, and I highly recommend that you use a booking page, because those convert very well.
Right, and one thing to consider too, right? Because there's going to be those people out there that'll be like, oh, why can't I just have a button that takes them to Calendly, right? And I mean, you can have that, but where these AI chatbots come into play is they make it more conversational and they make that that transition even more seamless, right? So it's like instead of leaving it up to the viewer, the visitor, to say, oh, I need to go click this button to set the appointment. The chatbot can be programmed to handle it in a flow to where it's like, all right, you're having a conversation with a chatbot, and you're like, oh, you want to set up a meeting or set up an appointment? Click this link and sign up. Boom, and there you got it. And so it takes work and effort away from the visitor which makes that customer experience again that much more seamless. We talk about it almost every podcast episode, making that end-to-end customer journey as optimized as possible. This is just another step in that, or another element to consider uh, in that process, right?
Yep. And, and just to kind of something to point out with websites. So, with website copy, right? And any kind of copywriting that you have out there, email copy, video copy, anything, you have to literally tell the viewer what to do. What's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step, right? The beauty about these AI chatbots is that there's an interaction going on. So it knows exactly when to fill in a certain type of call to action based on the way that conversation is going. And it's only going to get better the more that that conversation goes on with other website visitors, because it's going to learn, right? It's going to learn the interaction, what the, how people are communicating with them on the website. And so it's going to optimize that conversation to where it's going to be a seamless communication between the website visitor and the chatbot, and they're going to know exactly when to fill in that call to action, which is completely different than on a website, because you are relying solely on the power of the words on the website to know when to get that person to actually take action.
Right. And that kind of leads us here into our next point, right? As far as the operational capabilities of these chatbots, and that next point being customer inquiries and FAQs, right? And we touched on this, I think, last episode, when it comes to having these AI chatbots trained up on your website, on your copy, on the blog posts and web content that is integrated into your site. So essentially, we're not just relying on a single man-made flow of a conversation, because we all know that in conversation we can think that it's going one direction, but in reality we're going to go and meander down a path that it's not as simple as one, two, yes, no. And so these AI powered chatbots can can be intuitive enough, uh, if programmed correctly, to be able to process those more complex inputs and more complex conversation flows, right? And again, the more we touched on this in a previous episode in relation to in relation to the blog content, web content, as far as being able to dial that in and make sure that we are, that the blog content is in depth and dialed in and speaking to your customer avatar, while at the same time this chatbot can be in real time trained up on that content, so that way it's not like, it's limited in its say, or AI brain, so to speak, right? It can be coming from a program data set that is geared specifically towards the products, the services, the cities, the areas that you serve, and your unique product or service offering, right? So there's a lot that can be said in relation to that, like, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. And kind of like, just to kind of understand a little bit of how it could work out. And again, we did talk about this quite a bit actually in the last episode, but we didn't share this example, because one of the things that a lot of business owners are going to wonder, so you may be a home service provider that actually has a decent sized team, right? And you have a dedicated person that answers the phone, takes note, takes messages, is able to kind of direct the calls to whatever team that they're looking to get a hold of, those kind of things, right? Well, if you had an AI chatbot system that was able to manage those calls through the website, right? Going through answering FAQs, knowledge-based type of information, customer inquiries, where customers can come to your website and they're looking for information, where that chatbot can literally handle that. It allows you to use that person that originally was set to just be answering the phone calls to be able to tap into their level of skill and maybe train them, spend more time with them on showing them how to do follow-up calls for prospects, right? Those that you've already sent out bids to, and just do a follow-up call for them to, just try to see, if you can speed up that closed deal, Also being able to call to current customers, previous customers, and try to get them to leave reviews. Now they're able to spend more time on the things that are a lot more important, that move that needle when it comes to growing that bottom line. And I think it's really key that you start on really understanding, kind of like get rid of all those mental blocks and really allow yourself to really think, wildly, really, and start thinking of how you can really start to integrate it within your business. And you know what? And if an AI chatbot cannot help you for that specific task right just now, I guarantee you, give it 6 months and it probably will.
Oh yeah, no, we've said it before and we'll say it again. Like the rate that this technology is evolving is unlike anything that we've seen before, right? It's a rabbit hole, but
Yep.
Tony, you and I just decided to jump down that rabbit hole together, and
Yeah.
so that those listening to it to us every week don't have to jump down the scary dark rabbit hole. We are going through it and taking all the information that's out there and doing the best that we can to simplify it, and share our findings with you guys so that way you're able to stay up to speed and ahead of the curve. What we're experiencing here is completely unique, and there's just so much opportunity here, and we don't want anyone to be left behind in it. So um kind of moving on to our next point of conversation here today, service recommendations. Right. So we've seen chatbots on these e-commerce sites, right? And even beyond e-commerce into services, the chatbots, because they're programmed up on your brand, programmed up on your business, and the data that we feed it, that's all based on your customers personas and avatars. There's this ability that it can have to make specific recommendations and things of that nature in relation to the interactions that you have with it, right? So an example of that would be, say that Tony, you and I were talking about soaps earlier, right? So if you're going to, an e-commerce store selling soaps, and you're like, I don't know where to start. And you can kind of tell the chatbot a little bit about what you're looking for. Are you looking more for a face soap? Are you looking more for, body wash, whatever that might end up being? And then by the end of it, this chatbot, because again, it's programmed up on your database, can serve in some ways the role of um like frequently bought together kind of thing that we see on Amazon and on e-commerce platforms, right? You can say, all right, you want a face soap that smells like butterscotch and maple something or other, I don't know.
Right.
And so it can say, hey, we have one for you just like that. Click this link. And if you like that, you should check out these other ones. So it's walking your customer through a flow, all in kind of an automated fashion, because it's all trained up on your products and your services. Now,
Yeah.
whether you actually like butterscotch maple, I don't even know if that's an actual thing, but it's why I'm not in soaps.
Uh, yeah, it's interesting because like let's just use as an example for, let's just say, a flooring contractor, right? If a website visitor, someone goes to a website and they're like looking for you know different types of flooring, and first of all, they're looking for someone to install their flooring because they're planning on ripping up their, let's just say, the living room, right? They're ripping up the living room, the carpet, the old 70s carpet that's in there, and they want to now put a much more durable, easy to clean type of floor, right? And then they're at the top of their mind, they're thinking tile, right? Because that's what most people are going, putting tile in there. But then the website, the chatbot on the website could be like, well, listen, did you know that there's also an alternative of using LVP, luxury vinyl planks, right? Because luxury vinyl planks are a lot very durable now. They're waterproof. You got the different ones that are hyperallergenic. They're so now it's able to, depending again on how much content has been given, right? Whether it's on your website or if on the back end you just upload a big old spreadsheet of all your services with every detail that you provide, you give that information to that chatbot so that way it knows that information and it's able to recommend the right types of services for that person So that way now they have a lot more knowledge to me to make a much better decision instead of just going to what originally they were coming in, right? Not knowing the fact, oh, I didn't even think about LVP, And so this is where, because there's most home services have more than one part to service, right? And so, and they a lot of times one complements the other, right? Or one is part of the other. And so those are things, and that's one of the things that I've always have learned with homeowners is that they only know so much. And it's our job as contractors, as home service providers, to educate them properly so that way they can make the best decision for their project, right? And so if you're able to use a chatbot system to do that, all it's going to do is just going to make you look way better as the ultimate decision to provide that service to them.
And I mean, on top of that too, right? It's also does the qualifying job in several
Right.
ways, right? Because you
Yep.
can program the flow if the visitor, the prospect, is interested in learning more, interested in setting up that appointment, we can leverage that technology to capture that information in a conversational manner. So instead of them going and filling out a form that feels very mechanical, they can give it in almost a conversational format with this chatbot. So you can qualify it based on budget. You can qualify it based on if you need to know like square footage, things like that. Being able to capture that information in a conversational way that your customers are going to be more prone to engage with, because it's, again, one, it's conversational. Two, like from our previous episodes, the frameworks that we can program into it, the personas that we can build into these chatbots can speak directly to your dream customer, right?
Mhm.
In the way that they want to be spoken to, right? So all that to say, right, you can, instead of having to worry about getting unqualified leads, or getting people that are just kind of sort of interested, maybe you have someone on your team that's dedicated to maybe the lukewarm kind of leads that need a little more coaching, need a little more um say guiding. And then you have your other segment of your sales team that's geared specifically towards the ones that are like, hey, I'm ready to buy, here's all the information, just tell me what's the best, can you help me here,
Yeah.
right? So it can, just think about, I mean, I if you're if you're listening to this, I want you to take a minute and think about all the conversations that you've had with unqualified leads. Probably a lot, right? What if we could mitigate a small percentage of that, 10-15% even? I'll just say there, right? Realistically, we could probably do better than that, but thinking 10-15% over the course of a year, how many months would that save?
Right.
So, but in all seriousness, right? Being able to take that time and apply it towards those leads that are going to be pre-qualified, geared up and ready to buy. And if they aren't ready to buy, then they're going to be very close to being ready to buy, because they're able to give you all the information that you need in order to say, hey, here's what we can do for you, right?
Yeah.
Does that not seem like a pretty invaluable time save?
Oh yeah, for sure. And another way to look at it too is think about this, right? So on the front end, right? If you have a website visitor that comes to your website, right? And there's two different types of leads, right? One is going to go through there and they're going to see a chat bot and they're like, well, I'd like to know how much it's going to cost to do this. And the chat bot's going to say, well, please go ahead and schedule this, right? Well, can you tell me how much that's going to cost? And then you have the other one is like going to get in there and ask questions, looking for answers, right? And that conversation back and forth, there's a report being built there, right? Now, on the back end, you as the business owner are going to be able to see those conversations, right? Which of those leads, which of those two leads are you going to spend more time going to hit first? You're going to do a follow-up call on first. One that just wanted to know what the price was to get a job done, or the one that literally spent time on your website conversing with your chatbot, getting the information that they needed, and they went ahead and set up an appointment for an estimate. They both set up appointments, right? They both set up for an estimate. However, you'll be able to identify which ones, because then because I know that for me, that was one of my biggest challenges was that whenever I would get a prospect, and the first question that came out of their mouth was, "Well, do you know how much it's going to cost to do this?" And I'm like, "Well, I can't really tell you." Well, can't you just give me a figure? Round out. I'm like, "No, I can't. I don't do that." And then you know what? And yes, I've done it because they've persisted, and then I ended up giving them a much higher quote because that's not because I'm going to overprice it on purpose because I don't want to serve that client because now they're price shopping. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, I wanted to make sure that I position myself as a high-end, high-quality, premium contractor, and that's the kind of contractors and home service providers that we work with. We want to work with home service providers that are that are driven to position themselves as high-end, premium service providers, and are going to get paid for what they can deliver. If I'm sorry, I apologize if this kind of bites a little bit, but I don't want to work with you if you are just looking to try to be the cheapest price in your area because you're not going to succeed. When you're trying to be the lowest price in your area, you're going to be chasing that next project versus I'd rather work with a company that wants to grow and build premium products and services that's going to help them grow that company into an empire, let's just say, right? And so that's where that chatbot system is going to really be able to help dilute the price shoppers, the tire kickers, and really help you identify the ones that really are serious and are looking to hire someone like right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. When you race to the bottom, you hit your head on the floor.
Right? Yeah.
And when you race to the
Quick.
top, the sky's the limit.
That's right.
And then you realize, oh, we can go through the sky into space. So I don't know. I mean, I'm with Elon. Let's hit the stars.
Right. Exactly. There you go.
So
I'm
if
with
that
you too.
if huh?
I'm with you there too.
Nice, nice. So awesome. Yeah. So I mean, I was gonna say if there if what we've been talking about today resonates with you and you're interested in learning more about these AI chatbots and what they can do for you, we would love to set up a time and speak with you guys one on one, if that's anything again that you see that value in. And if it is something that you're interested in exploring further, we encourage you to go visit us online at noblevisionai.com or shoot us an email, contact@noblevisionai.com. And with that, we will close out today's episode. Thank you all so much for joining us for another episode of the Artificially Smart Marketing Podcast. And we are out.
Take care, guys.